Hello everyone, I'd like to take this time to welcome you and to thank you for being a Kroll International partner. Today I'll be going over how to utilize our FTP site at a basic level. Some points that I'll be going over are how to log into the FTP site. This of course requires a username and password. If you do not have these, you will need to get in contact with customer service and they'll be able to further process your request. Also, I'll be going over how to view and save images, and lastly, how to view and open data files within Excel properly. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and launch your web browser. This can be Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Firefox, whichever browser you do prefer. Just for example purposes, I am using Google Chrome. First thing to do now is go to the web address bar at the top of the screen there and type in the FTP link that was provided to you, or paste it, whichever. Okay, so once you get to the FTP home screen, you'll be prompted to log in using your username and password. So let's go ahead and get that put in. Alright, so once you're logged in, you'll see two folders, the product images and the product data. The product images does contain all of the images of SKUs listed on Kroll's website. But before we check that out, let's go ahead and look into the product data. So click that first, please. Alright, so now the product data contains all the information needed to populate your website. For example, stockable items, inventory stock, complete catalog, and so on. To get a more in-depth understanding of what's in each of these files, go ahead and check out the FTP site documentation. Just for example purposes, let's go ahead and download the stockable product catalog. But before we do that, if you were to have clicked in this link here, you're going to see a ton of information that is kind of jumbled up, not very usable, very hard to navigate through it, way too much. So we don't recommend doing it this way. So let's go back. Alright, so what you want to do is right click that link and then click download link. Now some other web browsers may have it as save link as, but it should be something along those lines. Alright, so now you're going to be prompted to save this file in a specific location of your choosing. So let's go ahead and just download it here. Now, depending on the size of the file, it may take a little bit of time. So I'll be right back. Okay, now that the file has completed the download, rather clicking in it directly, you want to actually launch Excel first. So go ahead and open up Excel. And now what we're going to do is open that file that we just downloaded within Excel. Now if you're saying, where's my file? I have no clue where it is. You'll see right here that it is looking for all Excel files. What you want to do is click that and change it to all files. That way now the text file will show up. And go ahead and select and open that. Alright, so you will get an import wizard box here pop up. So in order to view this information, we do need to go through a couple of steps. You want to make sure that it is selected as a tab delimited, because this is what all of our text files are in. And then go ahead and click next. Alright, and then you can also see now that all the data is now placed in the proper columns. And you want to make sure that the tab checkbox is checked. Then click next. Alright, so now this is the most important part of this import wizard. There's a couple of columns that you need to change the data format to text format. So for instance, the product SKU, you want to change this to text. The reason being, if you were to have left it in general format, it would actually chop off all those zeros in front of the SKU. So by selecting the text format, it will preserve the data integrity of it. The next column is the product group. Go ahead and change that. And then the last one is the UPC column. Alright, so once that is done, go ahead and click finish. Alright, so once that is all set, it does import everything into Excel format. And as you can tell, all of the columns now have the proper information within them. And it definitely makes it a lot easier to work with and to kind of find what you are looking for. Before working with the data, what I like to do is select that first that first row, which is the data header, and apply a filter to it. So this is really good for being able to sort your information or even filter it. So a nice little trick to do is click on, say, the manufacturer arrow here, and then sort A to Z. So what this will do, it kind of groups like all of your manufacturers together and just makes it a little bit easier to read. If you don't want to see all this information here and you're only looking for a specific manufacturer or select amount of manufacturers, go ahead and click on that arrow here, and then you can tell right in this box all the different manufacturers that are listed. Go ahead and unselect the select all, and then now you can choose the specific manufacturers you want shown. Let's just choose Ultima and AAC, and then just click OK. Alright, so what that does is it filters out all the additional manufacturers out of the worksheet here, while they are still in the worksheet, but now it just shows only those manufacturers that you've selected. And it just makes it a little bit easier to navigate through. Alright, and that's it for importing the data file into Excel. And let's go ahead and check out the product images folder now. So what you want to do is go to the FTP site again and just click back. Alright, go ahead and select that product images folder. Okay, so now you're going to see a list of folders here, and these are all product groups. So as you can tell from the Excel file that we were here, you can see that AAC does correspond with what is on the FTP as AAC. So for example, if you wanted to view this image, you can actually copy it, and let's go ahead and click on the AAC folder here. Then click large. Okay, and now you'll see all of the product images, and they are named after the SKU. So from this file, once we copied it and we want to locate that within this list of images here, you can do Control F, and then you'll see a box kind of pop up in the top right there, and then you can paste in that SKU. And what it'll do, it'll actually show you exactly where it is. So right there. So you can actually take that SKU and search it in Kroll's website, and it'll take you directly to that item as well. So let's go ahead and open that image here. And there you have it. You have the image for that SKU. Now to download this image, you just right-click it and click Download Image. Again, in other web browsers, it may say Save Image As, and then you can save it that way. If you are looking to download multiple images at once, we do suggest using a open source FTP software application. For example, FileZilla. There are several different applications out there, so it all depends on what you prefer. Alright, and that concludes the FTP tutorial. If you do have any questions, don't hesitate to ask us. We do appreciate your feedback, so if you're looking for a tutorial on something else, we would appreciate your suggestions. Also, we appreciate you tuning into this, and let us know, okay? You guys have a great rest of the day, and thanks for watching.